legal funding would prejudice me immensely, as I was facing the state with limitless resources. To this date, I have no resources, and for almost 3 years, my lawyers are helping me without being paid. As I started with the criminal trial in the coming, as I start with the criminal trial in the coming months, I face an insurmountable task and am at the mercy of the lawyers who have decided themselves to assisting me when my own comrades have forsaken me. Comrades, you neglected and continue to neglect me. You know the implications, but perhaps that is what some of you hope for, that I finally go to jail by whatever means or tactics. I must also add, comrades, that some of you have followed me abroad to talk to people I meet who are my friends that I know, to plead with them that they must not support me. And some of those are my friends. They've told me. That proves the point that it is not an accidental behavior. Just to quote one, so that you don't say I'm just making allegations for sweet nothing. I went to Qatar, and the first issue, my friend, the emir there, who's my friend, told me that your country has been sending messages to say I must not meet you. And that very morning, Mandla Mandela was there, having been given a special jet to fly there to try to stop the emir not to meet me. It came from his mouth, not me. And I said, but I've got nothing to do with internal affairs of South Africa. You are my friend. You are coming to me as my friend. It's not the only one. Quite a number of heads of states have said similar things. And you must realize that what I'm saying here, I'm not just being funny. When I say you have neglected me, it's actually an understatement. You have worked hard to stop me from getting anything to help me on my side. And you would appreciate why, therefore, I take this line that perhaps this meeting, so many other things have been happening, nobody has ever wanted to see me to discuss those matters. Only when I say I'm not going to this commission. And I would, as I will explain later, you will also realize I'm correct by so doing. No one can face the trial I am about to face without the resources. But because of Jacob Gedletlekisa Zuma Mhlanganyelo, only me, I'm going to face it. But my own comrades have facilitated that I must be suffocated financially so that I am buried once and for all for crimes I did not commit. Fortunately, and with no resources, but alone with my lawyers, I will fight to prove my innocence and will endeavor to reveal who the criminals are in our movement. Lastly, comrades, when I first appeared at the commission, I reluctantly made serious statements about the constitutionality of the commission. What I perceived what I perceived it to be my final grave. And I said so there. You recall this. I also raised the issues, some of the issues I'm raising here. So it's not like I've just turned around to raise issues. I said it was unconstitutional. I, the one who established it, I was forced by the judiciary to establish a commission in a wrong manner. Again, I was neglected and ridiculed as you look other way. I hope you understand that I raise these issues frankly because you are my comrades and you are the only forum at which I can confront these issues. That is why the ANC taught us that we discuss the matter. We don't shy away from them. Find solutions where there. So where there is no solution agreed, there is no solution here, and then we say, then what do we do? Comrades, as you come here to persuade me to go to the commission, to go to the commission in compassion. The irony is that you are ignoring my concerns, which I have legitimately raised. It is further evidence that you would rather my rights be trampled upon than upset the powerful classes in society who want to suffocate me. If you cared for me, you would join me to tackle the issues I raise. You would confront what threatens our democracy. I am no threat to democracy or the rule of law. If anything, I would fight for it. But if I believe they are being abused, I will stand up. Lastly, comrades, I feel that you come here under false pretenses. It is not that you have sympathy for me. This is part of your ruse in the public's eye. While you comfort me with words of support, your actions loudly speak and say that you do not care. And in fact, some of you wanted to see me in jail by hook a few points that I think remain overlooked in the bigger debate, and that are of profound importance to the longevity and survival of the ANC. We are living in what we term a constitutional democracy, but fail to interrogate its real meaning. The painful struggle we fought was for democracy and not the constitutional democracy we have today. This was negotiated, I know, I was part of it. But it is the manner in which it operates that has begun to give me to rethink it. I say this because the Constitution we all praise has turned into an instrument to subvert the will of the people. The majority of people who mandate us at every election to represent them in Parliament can no longer see their aspirations being attained by us, because the decisions and actions of Parliament are permanently arrested by the judiciary through the Constitution. In other words, we are forced into implementing only that which an unelected judiciary agrees with. That is not a real democracy, but a pseudo-democracy. The rule of the judiciary was only intended, the role of the judiciary was only intended to be the enforcement of the law, not to control the outcomes of a democratic process. What are we doing to fix this? How can just 11 people have so much powers to control a whole elected legislative assembly? Isn't this a little bit funny? We fought for democracy, the majority rule. Once the majority rules, the majority rules. What happens when they are wrong in the decisions they take? I think it will be a disaster. What happens when they are turned into counter-revolutionary force against the people? What happens when they assume more powers than they are allowed? What happens when they unilaterally dissolve Parliament tomorrow and establish their own structure in place? What will we do? Will it not be too late by then? There is something fundamentally wrong in this model. I know I'm coming to a debate which you may feel is unfair, but it is after the experience through which I've gone, having occupied certain positions, observed what is happening, and that's why I felt within you I can raise these matters. And it is our task, as I remember, at the liberation movement to rectify this. If at all we agree, we may not necessarily agree. Why does the ANC now leave for opposition and media approval instead of following the resolutions of its structures? There are many resolutions that don't enjoy support in our position and media, in our opposition and media, and those are swept under the carpet. Yet it is the media and opposition that put the ANC for people to step aside, and the ANC bows to that pressure, ignoring how divisive this approach is to the organization. What suffers the most when we are being divided in this way by our enemies? How is ANC going to account to its members for removing their elected officials through an unknown process to the movement, or by the unknown process with the movement? I remind you that it is disingenuous of this leadership to now say they support me when it was this very same leadership that discouraged and rebuked members who wanted to show me support in my court appearances.
I therefore grant the following orders. A. It is declared that the decision taken by the National Prosecuting Authority during or about 28 December 2007 to prosecute the applicant, a copy of which is annexed to the applicant's founding affidavit as Annexure A thereto, is invalid and is set aside. Court will rise.